Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee alongside Army Armstrong. Some unusual surroundings for us. We're inside the remote television facility where it's nice and dry because outside, Mother Nature has created a quagmire. But we have motorsports action for you with tape coverage of rounds 1 and the start of round 2 in the Monsters. Now, officially, the competition has been canceled because of rain. However, we also have some other bonus competition.
And let me tell you about the bonus competition because the rain has nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, these guys were looking for a little bit more moisture in the track. What we're going to be talking about is the Class 6 mud racers, the Unlimited, the scooper tires. These guys are going to be trying to make a sub 3-second shot on a 250-foot track. I said these guys, let me throw some names at you. Tom Meach rolls out with Shake Me, supercharged Chevrolet engine. Ronnie Pence, two-time world champion indoor with the Tater out of Missouri. He wants to do good. He's in his own home state. Then you got a guy rolling out of here. Mike Erdely rolls out with the Mud Shark. Everybody knows about this guy. If you're in the sport, you're almost afraid to go against him. And four-time world champion, the Super Trooper, comes outdoors, Tom Martin. So all the big names in the sport are here. They like this weather. They're kind of like ducks. But weather doesn't bother them a bit. They're ready to go racing, Gary.
And a special run in the Monsters. You got to watch this. It's all coming up next. Stay with us. Not a very pleasant day here in Sedalia, Missouri, where Ford trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Midwest Nationals, a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Series. Round 1 pairings, Barefoot against Nightmare, Tropical Thunder will go up against King Crunch, also in round 1. Snakebite and Black Stallion just showing off against Bigfoot. A 10-truck field will also have Carolina Crusher and John Moore's No Problem. Rain in the forecast. The skies looking threatening right now, so we're not sure just how much action we'll get in before Mother Nature takes over. Here's a look at Kirk Dabney, the new driver of Nightmare out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And there is Fred Schaefer in Barefoot.
Well, Schaefer's been the story of the year so far this year. You know, we told you about him coming from Chevrolet over to Dodge. I think we got a good marriage here. Those guys are going to be players before the year's over. Dabney on the other side, he's new to this truck, but he's been in the sport for about 10 years. He's out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he knows awfully well he's going to have to leave with that Dodge if he's going to be competitive with him.
Fred Schaefer was the fast qualifier, and he takes the measure of Dabney and takes the victory here. Our first matchup in round 1, and that will go to the Dodge of Fred Schaefer.
Yeah, but nobody rolled over there. This kid in Nightmare, the GMC, was pushing Schaefer to the limits. He backed him into a corner and made Schaefer really work at Dodge to get the win, Gary.
Keep in mind, though, with this 10-truck format, the fastest loser from round 1 will advance. So it's important to keep the throttle down all the way through the run.
Exactly. You got to drive it out the back door is what they call it.
Tropical Thunder. This is Wayne Smozanic. He tows up to Missouri from the state of Florida, from Jupiter, Florida. There's a look at Wayne, a former drag racer who has made his way to monster truck racing, and he takes on the kid from Texas. This is the Auto Value King Crunch GMC of Scott Stevens.
You know, the shock absorbers on these things, there's a lot of engineering coming out of the shock absorber area. The Scott Stevens looks like a skinny-legged kid standing there the way his chassis sits up. His motor's located to the rear, as is Smozanic. This is a brand new setup for Wayne Smozanic. The Tropical Thunder is trying to bring some drag racing technology over. Hey, he may be a little bit of bad bounce. And now Stevens capitalizes on Smozanic's bad bounce.
Yeah, that's like a fielder in baseball takes a bad hop with the ball skipping over his shoulders. He reaches down to pick it up. It was just a bad hop on the part of Wayne Smozanic.
That's right. You can't put the horsepower through the track if you're bouncing. But the new chassis setup seems to be working. He leaves the line. You can tell he's got some drag race in him, can't you, Gary?
Wayne Smozanic takes the bad hop. Scott takes the victory, and he is standing by with Army.
Well, Scott Stevens, the truck seems to like the track or something. It just seems to be working for you here.
Oh, yeah, the truck's just getting better and better every run. You know, we just got to find something. We're just a little bit off. You know, I feel like my driving's pretty close and the truck's pretty close. I just got to get it all together. You know, from the qualifying times, we're just a little bit short, but, you know, it's so close. I think we can find it. That run there was a little conservative. I just wanted to cut a good light and go straight, and it felt real good. And, you know, got to get ready for that next round. Every round here is going to be tougher.
And here is a look at Snakebite. That is the GTS fiberglass body on the Ford truck Colt Cobra out of Cobra Creek, Colorado. And he certainly has made his presence felt this season. The youngster from The state of Maryland. That's the Black Stallion of Mike Botters.
That's another GTS body. You know, the fiberglass body is getting to be a very important part of this sport. And one of the old Bigfoot drivers saw that and started a company that specializes in these bodies now for these monster trucks to keep them looking as close as possible to something the crowd can identify with.
And keep them as light as possible, as Snake Mike's going to take this one in a big way. Colt Cobra is victorious over Mike Botters, so Mike may have had a mechanical problem there.
Boy, that truck is gaining so much popularity. You go around the country, kids know who Colt Cobra is.
Well, it's been a popular truck, but now it's a victorious truck.
Exactly. Like you said earlier, he stepped up this year, and he's really going to be a player.
Here is a look at Just Showing Off. This is Paul Huffaker and Just Showing Off, and he'll go up against the Bigfoot 10 of Andy Brass. There's a look at Paul out of Spring, Texas, down in the area where Scott Stevens hails from.
As a matter of fact, Paul Huffaker was the original crew chief for Scott Stevens. When I first met him, I met those guys together. Andy Brass, everybody knows the story, a hired gun for Bob and Marilyn Chandler out of Missouri, driving the awesome blue truck. Meanwhile, Purina Mainstay dog food truck is trying to bump this big guy off.
A lot of new sponsors coming in the monster truck competition. We can see the color scheme there on the mainstay. But look at the victory by Andy Brass.
Yeah, but Gary, when he tagged the brakes on the end, he's got some blue smoke coming out. They call that death smoke. That's usually the sign of a blown engine at this point in time. Wow.
Well, Andy appears to be motoring on back to the pit area. Let's look one more time. He gets the hole shot and takes the victory, but that smoke could be terminal.
He had horsepower at the end of the run when he backed on the throttles when the blue rolled out.
Well, Andy is back in the pit area, climbs out of Bigfoot 10. Let's get on and talk to him, Army.
Andy, you've got a tremendous amount of blue smoke coming out of the vehicle. What's causing that?
Now, the only thing we can think of has been sucking some intake gaskets on it. We have a little problem with the intake. We had to stack some gaskets there earlier this afternoon. We was putting it back together, and we're just thinking maybe we're just sucking them in there, and we're getting oil out of the intake and burning it.